Didier, I was saying thank you very much for agreeing with us and coming and joining us on this Instagram Live. You are the founder and the president of the Afrique Search Group, which you founded in 1996. It is now the first international recruitment and human resources consultancy firm specializing in Africa. And you have partnered with Alexander Hughes, which makes you now present in 50 countries in the world. It's a huge achievement for which, we can only congratulate you. You make us very proud. You're also an advisor and to several leaders, major corporations and governments in Africa. You have a very strong expertise in HR and talent. You also are an active participant in different think tanks, including a think tank on young African leaders. And you have been Entrepreneur of the Year. You received an award in 2014. And you're also the founder of an African SMEs Financing Forum that you have created in partnership with Afrexim Bank and African Development Bank and other funds. So Didier, welcome. And with no further ado, let us get started. My first question will always be, how do you manage to be such an international public speaker, and how do you get people to listen to you?
First of all, thank you, Nadia and Jill, for hosting me and inviting me to the show. And I'd like to say hi to all our viewers. Being a public speaker is not necessarily something natural. And I must say, it started with passion. And I'm so passionate about Africa. And I still remember back in the days in Paris when we decided to found this association called Renaissance Africaine to change basically Africa. And we started slowly, and over the time, I became probably a public speaker because I had to introduce sessions, moderate sessions, and it probably came from that. But I can tell a little story because it's not so natural. And I remember when I was in college in Lomé in Togo, I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and we had a band, the college band, and I was the singer of the band. And, we go on and prepare some songs, some Kool and the Gang, Billy Ocean. And the first concert, the first one, we came on stage, and I suddenly discovered in the whole amphitheater, there was like maybe 1,000 people looking at us, looking at the band. And so I was like, whoa, this won't happen. I got so shy that instead of looking at the people, I turned on the left, looking on this side. So I remember somebody came and said, Didier, you have to look at the crowd, look at this way. So I had to turn around and face the audience. And I can tell you, I just freak out. It was amazing. It was a terrible experience. But, when you have to start swimming, you get into the water and you start swimming. And that's the way I think it started. And since then, I think I had more appetite to face people, to talk to people, but it was so crazy. But at the end of the concert, people were just clapping, applauding that you guys were great. Like, whoa, I did it. Wow, but it was just scary.
Interesting how these childhood experiences forge our character and give us self-confidence, isn't it? Can you give us other anecdotes?
Well, probably, about public speaking, to be frank, I love to have fun because I don't do it for the living. I don't do it as a job. So when people ask me to come and moderate or speak, I'm like, I would do it, but please let me do it my way. And I remember this session I was moderating with two head of states, President Kagame of Rwanda and President Macky Sall of Senegal. And it was about technology, how you can reinvent Africa. Are you digitally driven, etc.? And I was the moderator. And I also love to engage with people. So I was seeing those two head of states, who were not so young. And I'm like, those guys want to talk technology to the youth. So let me try them. And I say, okay, Mr. President, both of you, can I ask you something? Can you take your phone out of your pockets, make a selfie, and send it to Instagram or Twitter? And they were like, oh, what is this guy asking? So they were all surprised. They were almost shocked, like, okay, well, we don't have our phone, you know, we can do it next time. It's with bodyguard, you know, they live with the bodyguard. So it was just so so funny. And I love, you know, to like ask a question that are not expected, or questions that people want to ask, but they don't think like, oh, they cannot ask that question. So I throw those questions, and it makes everybody very comfortable, live, and it's kind of funny. So I have to enjoy when I'm speaking or when I'm moderating, and make it very live, very friendly, with the respect due to all those people. But I think that probably something that I enjoy doing if it's joyful and funny.
You bring a bit of spice into the moderation, and you get these personalities also to come out of their comfort zone, but in a very respectful manner. And this is your trademark, and this is also why they keep asking for more. They keep asking you to come back, because you add that little spice to their conferences, you know, when everybody else just does the same thing, and it can become very boring otherwise. Can I get back to, you know, Afrique Search? Such an achievement. Could you share with us the story of, you know, the journey of Afrique Search? I think most of our people here would like to hear more about it.
Yeah, sure. You know, this is a story of my life, and I can go on and on, but I will try to stay brief. We started in '96 in Paris with a couple of friends, because we basically wanted to see how we can help Africa. And back in the days, you know, this all Afro-pessimism ambience, you know, Africa was not that great. So we started the company with the idea of helping cooperation, investing in Africa, having African talents, because we were convinced that Africans have talents, and so they can work in Africa for African corporations or multinational. So we decided to set up this company in '96 with a nice business plan. You know, my background is business school. We have lawyers in the team, and we had a very nice business plan. We should have been probably millionaire in about 2 or 3 years. So we're very optimistic. We started the business in July '96, and we're expecting to have maybe, you know, 20, 30 assignments, and in '97, 50 assignments. Guess what? In '96, we had only 2 assignments instead of 30 or 40. Wow. So we basically were run out of money by December. So we got broken. And the worst thing is that one of the shareholders has a beautiful space in next to the Champs-Élysées. That was our office based. And the guy in December, I came to the office one day, and he's like, he just changed the lock of the doors. And like, you know, guys, I'm out of this. I'm taking back my premises. I don't want you to be in this office anymore. So we basically failed. First year we failed. We had to start over in '97 again with bringing some money on the table. And '97, instead of having 50 assignments, we just got 4. So it was very, very tough. That was a tough experience. But, you know, we decided that we should hang on, because this is a great project. This is something we have to keep doing, because it's meaningful. It's meaningful for Africa. It's meaningful for all these Africans that have talents that they can share with the continent. So we just kept on and on and on and on. And '97, end of '97, we started getting some great contracts like Coca-Cola, Simon Lafarge, Microsoft, and all those big corporations started coming in. And that's the way it really picked up. But I think we didn't have that passion, this resilience, and the fact that we believe strongly in this initiative, in this venture, who have never succeeded. And I think, to make it brief, Afrique Search is really part of my life story. And since almost 25 years, we've been having fun. We've been building this company, supporting Africa, supporting talent, and promoting African talent, because the whole idea is Africa got talent. Africans are very talented, so they need to put this talent at the service of Africa. So I think we're trying hard, but we're getting there slowly, slowly.
I have a question coming in saying, how do you search for talent?
Well, you have different ways. First, we have a database, so people can send their resume to be in our database. Second, we have a network where, like through social network or through various associations or through magazines or conferences, we try to identify talents wherever they're based. So when we got an assignment from clients, we look in our database to see if we got those talents already there, or we go on a search. That's what we call executive search. And the way you search is what I mentioned. You have to maybe call people to check if this guy is working there. You have to go through internet, through magazines, through friends, to network and look for potential people that can match the profile that you're looking for. So that's why we call, it's called a headhunting. Because you hunt. It's like you go into the bush and you try to see the best animal that you're looking for that day, except that this is talent, this is human being, and so we try to be as part of the maximum network that we can to identify and know these people.
Thank you. Thank you. I have more questions coming. But before we get to those questions, I wanted to ask you, what are the top skills that companies require nowadays?
Well, it's not only skills that companies are looking for, but basically it's the skills that the world requires. And of course, when the company is recruiting, you want somebody who can perform. So basically, you want somebody who is a great achiever, who can achieve, who can understand, who can adapt, he can get into the business, who can be entrepreneur. Because even the businesses of our clients, of the corporations, are changing. So they want somebody who can, let's say, grow with their business, understand where the business is going, and adapt, and really take it to the next level. So it's not only about having the basic curricula, like, I have a master's degree or I have an MBA or a PhD. No, it's not only about that. Because we suppose, and the client suppose, that you have the knowledge, the basic knowledge, but it's how you can adapt to his business and take it to the next level. So it's required some skills that we'll probably be talking about later.
So really, agility, flexibility, adaptability is extremely important in this market.
It is crucial. It's even what we're asking our kids today. If you don't understand the world, if you're not able to connect the dots, if you're not able to be, let's say, solution-driven, solution-oriented, it's very, very difficult to get there. And especially in Africa. Let me give you an example. You know this mobile money called M-Pesa?
Yes.
Yeah, mobile in Kenya. It's called M-Pesa.
Yes.
Back in the days, who would have thought that you would pick so quickly? Because people on the ground understood that as people don't have enough bank accounts, as people don't have access to the banking system, they need to find a way to get money to them, or they can transfer money. And the question was, what does people use there on a daily basis? Is their phone. So they say, maybe we can use their phone because they use that on a daily basis as a bank account. And that's the way it started. So it became very successful because they were able to understand the environment, to understand how people act, to understand what people do, to understand what people are looking for. So one of the skills is to understand your environment and to bring an original and innovative solution to the needs based on the reality of environment. So that is critical.
That is wonderful. Thank you very much. There's this other topic that I want to touch on, and then we can come back to the questions from our audience. I know that, young citizens' public engagement is a topic that is very dear to your heart. You are part of, the advisors to a think tank for young African leaders. What do you recommend today for young African leaders? Where do you think they should head?
Well, we have the youngest continent on Earth. And I think 70% of our population is less than 25 years old or 30 years old. So it's a very young continent. But look at our leaders, how old they are. So there's a kind of, disconnection between the leaders and the population. And as long as the youth doesn't engage in politics, in public action, serving communities, having their voice heard, get involved in all the public institution that they may find, get involved in what is being made as decision in the neighborhood, in the community. They really need to commit. They are the solution, so they need to be the solution instead of expecting the leaders to bring the solution to them. So I think we have to really encourage our youth to engage more, to be more active in all the decisions that are made in this continent. They have to be the engine of the change, and they cannot be the engine if they stay on the side. If they stay on the side and look at the car passing by, they've never been in the car, so they have to jump into the car. If the car doesn't stop, they have to jump over the car and say, hey, you there, this is our continent, we need to be part of it. So I really advocate for that and encourage and push our young African talents, whoever they are, to commit, to engage. And probably at the end, people understand that they need to do something. If they don't do something, the youth will come after them, and they have to go after them. They have to come after us, basically. So they have to play their role, and I think this is critical if you want to change this continent.
So public engagement, whether it's in politics, whether it's serving communities, whether it's in NGOs, but public engagement of the youth. Serve your communities. And I really picked up on the word serve, because this is what we need to do. Public engagement is not to dominate others, it is to serve our community so that we all grow together and build this continent. I think this is what I understood from what you said, Didier, and it's an extremely important point. I keep getting questions of people asking, obviously, about Afrique Search. It sparks a lot of interest, particularly in these days when we are having many repats to the continent. People want to know how they can get on your database. Do you help with resumes? They want to know more. Is there anything you can give us more?
Yes, of course. As I was saying, we need to know those people. We need to know where they are. So basically, they have to get themselves in our database by sending a resume. And they know our website is afriquesearch.com, so they can go online and send a resume. So at least we know who they are, where they are. And based on that, as we have requests coming in from corporations, from clients, when we have those requirements, those profiles to fill, to search for, we can get into the database and look for them. So they have to make sure they connect with Afrique Search, and so we can pick them when there is a job, a position to be filled.
So everyone on this call, if you are interested in being a repat, and we all know Africa needs your talents, do not hesitate to send your resume to afriquesearch.com so that you are in their database, and when they need you, well, they will get in touch. I have a question saying, hard to get a job in the continent when trying to return. What does Didier think? Is it that difficult?
Well, I mean, there is a fact. The statistics says that we create less than 5 million jobs every year in the continent, formal jobs, and the needs are between 15 and 25 million. So it means there is not enough job for everyone. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the market is not that transparent, in the sense that Not all the corporations that are recruiting, publicize the jobs to fill. So they will go, around the network, like ask people, do you know somebody with a profile? So not all the jobs are publicly announced. So people don't know about those jobs. The third thing is that, the recruitment agent or directors or HR managers, they don't necessarily respond to people. Meaning when you send a resume to an HR director of a company, sometimes will not respond to your email, to your resume. So it makes it difficult to connect, in fact, with the decision makers. That's where we come as a intermediary and agent, recruitment agent, to say, okay, you guys, you have the job, we have the people looking for those jobs. So indeed, it's not that easy because there's not enough jobs, and that people don't really make a lot of announcement about the jobs that needs to fill up.
Thank you for that precision, Didier. It's very important. So there aren't enough jobs. However, as the job market evolves and the demand varies, if you are in the database of a search company, you will, of course, increase your chances of being visible on the market. Didier, I would thank you for, giving us all these tips. Now, coming back to public speaking, are there any tips you would like to share with our audience, as other people here would like to also be public speakers?
Well, I don't know if those are relevant tips, but I mean, my personal experience is that every time I'm speaking publicly, first, I need to know my topic. What am I talking about? This is crucial. So I have to do my homework. What am I going to talk about? I need to understand the topic. Second, I need to understand a little bit the audience I'll be speaking to, to adjust a little bit what I'm going to be saying or how I'm going to be talking. But please be yourself, I'm just Didier. When I'm a public speaker, I make jokes. I get people to laugh. I share stories. I tell my stories, and I don't try to lie to people or be someone else. So I think that is very important to engage with people when you feel that you are connecting with them because you're sharing something they can be really too, and at the end of the day as well, you have to bring some good news to people. People trying to get some good news at the end of the day. Life is so tough, so when they come to a conference, they're there to listen to you. It's good to bring some good news. And maybe another tip is to get people into the conversation. And I remember last year I was moderating a session in Kigali during the Women's Forum with Christine, and I had a couple of speakers on stage. It was about women, financing women in business. And I could feel, that the panelists were really not giving the right answers, the right information. So I went into the public and I'm like, okay, who wants to replace me on stage? I want an entrepreneur to replace me on stage. So there was an amazing lady who was a great entrepreneur who said, yes, I want to be on stage. And I invited her to go on stage. And when he got on stage, I mean, the room just got on fire because she was bringing the questions people were expecting. She was bringing the responses people in the room were sharing. So basically, I managed to get people into the conversation and even bring them on stage so they can share their stories and we get the conversation going. So those are some of the things that I can give as tips, and of course the unexpected questions, the question that I don't even know when I get on stage. I love that one. It just comes to my mind. Maybe at the end I'm like, let me put this question. I don't know how they're gonna react, but people just love it, and it works. So I must be lucky.
Well, you're certainly lucky, but also Didier, as I know you, I've known you for decades now. you are yourself. You are real, you're authentic. You know, the Didier we see is the Didier who is. So this is how you come, and this is how you come across on stage. And, you know, I mean, for example, putting aside your ego of being the moderator to go and get somebody else in the room to ask the right questions because you connected so strongly with your audience that you felt the questions were not the right ones. This is fantastic. So as you know, as we teach, this is being authentic, being yourself, being real, the real deal. Thank you very much for that. I see more questions coming. Gilles, do we have time for one more question? Okay, excellent. Someone is asking, how do you enhance your CV, your resume, your profile in order to be more adapted to the market, to the work market?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I need to tell our audience that as a professional, you have many skills, and you cannot reveal all the skills on one resume.
Yeah.
So I always tell people you should have 2 or 3 resumes, because depending on the job and the position you're looking for, maybe put this resume instead of this one. The second thing is that when people read your resume, they need to understand that you are an achiever. You are a deliver, that you can deliver, you know. And
Yes.
so you have to show result. You have to show what you have achieved in your career. And you have to show within this career the path that you've gone through. So you have to show that, you know, you have been going through, you have been progressing basically, you know, phase 1 to phase 2, phase 3. So you have to show a kind of dynamic in your profile, in your resume. And especially remain a little bit open in the sense that when you lock yourself into a position, when you read your resume, like, okay, this guy is just for this position, you lock your profile into one segment, you know, into one niche. Yeah. So you have to remain a little bit open, show that you are an achiever, show that you can adapt, so that you can learn, you can bring added value, and understand who you're writing to. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like a customized resume or a customized email you're sending to the person. Like, if I'm writing to a company which is going through, you know, a kind of turmoil, not succeeding on the market, if I write to this company, I'll tell the company I've been seeing the challenge you've been going through, and based on my experience, I'll recommend this, and this. I'd like to meet you to discuss that. So you come with proposition. You come with solution. So then this guy may bring a solution. This guy is solution driven. So everybody needs to understand that you are bringing a solution to the table. Don't be the problem. If you send a resume, you're just a problem to the company. Maybe they don't have any position. But if you like, I can be part of the solution, then you're starting to pick their interest, and then they may call you at least to discuss. Maybe they don't have a position, but like, oh, wow, we can have a discussion with this guy. He has something to say, and over the time, maybe they have a position for you.
This is totally in the same line as, you know, what a lot of people are saying now in the business environment. Businesses need entrepreneurs. They need people who behave within the company as entrepreneurs. They're solution finders. They're people who believe, you know, they behave as if the business is their business, and they try to find the right solutions. So Didier, this was amazing insight you gave us, very useful. I would like to say thank you again very much on behalf of Acosphere and on behalf of our friends, our audience, for taking the time to be with us today. I would also like to tell our audience that, you know, we apologize for any technical issues we've had at the beginning, and we are very grateful that you stuck with us and you stayed through this very, very interesting talk. Next week, same time, Thursday, the 4th of June, we will have another great speaker, Olivier Njamfa. He is the founder of Eptica, which he sold last year, and he has amazing business insight to share with us. So we look forward to seeing you all next Thursday, same time, 4:30 p.m. GMT on Instagram Live. Thank you, everyone. Didier, a heartfelt thank you for this very interesting talk that we just had, and wishing you all the best and hope to see you soon post-COVID. Thank you. Everybody stay safe, stay blessed, and see you next week. Bye-bye, and have a lovely end of the day. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Take care.